Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So guys, I hope your preparations are going well and I hope you are giving your best to prepare for this exam. So, so guys, if I'm audible and if I'm visible to everyone, kindly give me a thumbs up in the chat box. After that, we shall begin with the session. And some of you, some of you told me that you couldn't find the PDF of the yesterday's session, so it has been uploaded in the Telegram channel today. So see, up, obviously we cannot upload the PDF at 8 or 9 in the night, so we do it the next day. So if you want the PDF of these sessions, join our Telegram channel. The link has been given in the description of the video. So guys, kindly give me a confirmation if I'm audible and if I'm visible to everyone. Right. So the topic that we'll be taking up today is letter writing. So yesterday we started with essay writing, and today we'll be discussing letter writing. After this, then we shall, tomorrow we shall cover pressy writing, and then day after tomorrow we would be covering report writing. So all right, guys. So let us begin with the session. So first of all, let's start with the definition of the letter. Right? How do we define a letter? Right. So see guys, every sort of composition in your English exam is basically, it is basically, it has its own format. It has its own structure to follow. So we need to, focus upon the basic intrinsics of the composition of a kind. For example, what I'm saying here is, see, essay is drafted in a different manner. It has its own structure that we discussed yesterday. Letter has its own structure, format to it. Report is written in its separate format. And similarly, pressy has its specific format. So guys, basically when we are learning to draft a letter, or when we are learning to draft a report, or when we are learning to articulate a pressy, we need to first of all understand the required structure of the question, right? So today in this session we'll be discussing the definition of a letter, right? What letter writing is all about, and basically what are the steps? What are the defined steps that you need to follow to basically prepare for this exam, right? So the first. All right, guys. So the first of all, let's start with the definition of the letter. So let me define it for you. Letters are a form of verbal and written communication. So please pay attention to this. Letters are a form of verbal and written communication which contains information or message. So basically, letters are basically, they are used to communicate between 2 points, but it is a written communication, a letter which basically contains information or message sent by one party to another to convey the message. So this is, we basically know, we have been taught how to write letters in our school. A letter is written to provide request certain important information. So a letter is basically written to either provide some information or to request some information. For example, if I want to provide some information, for example, I'm writing to the editor of the daily newspaper. I'm providing the information of the dilapidated states of the roads, right, in the area. So that can be providing information and then requesting him to take some necessary action on this particular regard, right? So basically a letter is written to provide or request certain important information. Now a formal letter, which is basically asked in your exam, a formal letter is written for business or professional purposes with a specific objective in mind. So guys, you always need to remember to understand that what is the objective that you are using it for. So basically when you are writing a letter, the scenario must be realistic. It must look like that somebody has consciously written this letter to either provide some information or to receive some information, right? So what are the basic do's and don'ts of letter writing? So guys, I'll show you the previous year questions in the session ahead, but what I want to discuss with you is basically something very important that you need to understand. When we write letters, we do not understand the importance of formal language, and that is what will be tested here in this exam. So in NABARD grade A, you will be given situations, scenarios to write upon, and you would be asked to write a letter, to draft your letter on that particular topic, right? So what are some do's and don'ts of letter writing? First of all, never use informal language, slang, jargon, any colloquialism or abusive language in a formal letter. Formal letter is basically used to communicate between two entities, right? It can be from one person to another organization, another a person who is sitting at a designation of an organization, and vice versa, right? So we cannot use improper language, we cannot use informal language. So basically what it says is we cannot use informal language in formal letters. And what do I mean by informal language? This includes any slang, any shortcut, any jargon, any short contracted form of your of anything that you use on a daily basis. That is absolutely a strict no, right? What you need to follow is use formal language. Second, guys, do not use shortened verb forms. For example, for example, we for example, if you have to write they are, so what we usually write in our language is they, and we contract it with are. So we use apostrophe. For example, isn't, we instead of writing is not, we write isn't. Instead of writing cannot, we write can't, in our normal day-to-day language. But in a formal letter, you do not use shortened, matlab contracted form of verbs. So you have to use the full verb instead. For example, if you have to write they are, instead of writing this, you have to write they are. Instead of writing isn't, you have to write is not, right? And then instead of writing can't, you have to write cannot. So we do not use contracted form of verbs through sorry, we cannot use contracted form of verbs in your formal letter. We have to use expanded form or the normal form, the full form that we use. Next, do not use common vocabulary such as I have got a letter. Yeah, instead of writing I have got a letter, क्या होना चाहिए? What would be the better language? I received a letter, or I received a correspondence from the bank. Right, so that makes, these choices of your words make your letter formal and informal. That is the basic differentiation. For example, a lot, yeah, nice, yeah, the other thing. Instead of using these general common words, which are basically vague when you are talking about something, so use specific words. Make more formal vocabulary choices. For example, instead of saying I have got, what do you use? I have found. Instead of saying a lot, you should write a great deal. Instead of writing nice, you should write attractive or advantageous. Or instead of writing the other thing, you should write the other issue or the other problem or the other topic or the other notion. So basically, the choice of words should be very, very formal when you are writing your letter. And again, do not use conversational opening phrases. So something like yes, I wanted to do this. So instead of opening statements like personalized statements, do not do that. Do not use conversational opening phrases such as, well, you see, I was not able to come to the bank for some time. This is not informal language. You don't know whom you are writing to or who will be reading your letter, right? So it is used for a formal purpose. So we cannot use common opening phrases like, for example, yes, or let's move on, or let's leave out. Basically we can't use these common phrases that we use while talking on a day-to-day basis. Leave out conversational phrases. So instead of using well, you see, instead it should be noted. Or instead of writing yes, you can write it is indeed true, right? So this is what we call correct choices of words. And another thing, use appropriate connectors and introductory phrases. That is very important to make your letter look formal. You need to use formal words in your letter, in your language. So basically, guys, there are a couple of things that we need to keep in mind. Number one, the format of your letter. Number two, formality, I mean the choice of words. Number three is basically the structure that you're following: introduction, body, conclusion, that I'm going to discuss with you now. And then the scenario that you are creating there. Scenario means, for example, if they've asked you to write a letter to your bank manager, don't you think this is necessary? It is necessary to mention a bank account number in your letter. So guys, kindly give me a confirmation, yes or no, if you agree with me. So guys, when you are writing a letter, don't you think it is crucial or it is important to mention your account number? Otherwise, don't you think, guys, the manager will not be able to understand who this person is? Is appreciation only for subordinates? No appreciation. I'll show you the letter which was given last year. alphabet. Now this had a letter, this had a choice to write a letter to your senior, congratulating him for his promotion and telling him the role he has played in your life. That was the topic that was given last year, alphabet. So yes, guys, kindly give me a confirmation if you agree with me. Appreciation can also be for seniors, right? So guys, I hope you understand this is what the requirement is when you are writing a letter to, let's say, an insurance company, and if you are writing to ask for the claim, the insurance claim that you have you know that you have taken the policy for. If you are raising a claim, obviously you need to mention your policy number, your let's say the policy date, and the nominee of the policy. Am I right? So guys, there are certain requirements of every scenario that you need to understand. So guys, what I always feel is whenever you're writing a letter, the more realistic it is, the better it is going to look. See, what I mean by realistic is you should put yourself into into the shoes of the situation, of the scenario, of the person who has given you the scenario. That yes, if let's say you are writing a letter to the local newspaper regarding the rising number of dengue cases in the area. So dengue kab hota hai guys? Barish ka season mein machhar se, right? So obviously you would be talking that the scenario that you would be creating, that due to the incessant rains in the during the monsoon season, it has resulted in water logging once again, like every year in the area. Manholes are not properly conducted. uh, there is water everywhere on the roads, and due to this drainage of poor drainage network, it has also resulted in rising number of dengue cases. Then you come to the point that the number of cases of dengue has basically risen three folds or four folds in the last 2 weeks. uh, and the specially targeted section are the children who play outside, in the parks where there is not proper cleanliness or sanitary conditions. So it is a request to the authorities to take proper steps and measures regarding this, put proper what do you say measures in place, then ask the healthcare authorities to be proactive and to be ready for more such cases in the area. So you also have to give a solution to the problem, right? So basically guys, the more realistic your scenario would be, the better your letter is going to look. That is simple as that, right? So do not use informal language, do not use contracted form of verbs, do not use general conversational opening phrases, and do not use common vocabulary words. Be formal in your choice of words, right? Then next, do not write I think, especially not at the beginning of a sentence. See guys, this letter is not about what you think, it's about the factual information. So instead of writing I think, instead you should write I believe, or I think, instead of writing I think or I believe, you can write it is believed. So it is believed that this is going to affect everyone in the area. It can be understood by the situation that people can face many more such cases. So whenever you are writing a letter, please make sure the language that you use is formal, and never start a sentence with I think or I believe. Instead, write it is believed. So passive form of sentences. Now, if you ask me guys, what is the simplest way to make a formal statement, make a formal sentence? Use passive sentences. What is passive sentence? For example, the government has put in place many measures. So if I want to make it look a bit more formal, many such measures have been put in place by the central authorities or by the government. Right, so that makes the language look formal. So instead of writing I think, I think I can, I think I'll, for example, if I write I think I'll not be able to pay the installments for the next 2 months due to this and this situation in my family. So instead of writing I don't think I will be able to, instead of writing this, so what you should write is it may be possible that the installments for the next couple of months may not be, or could not be, or might not be paid on time. So when you make the sentences passive, you remove the personal pronouns, and that is what I was getting to. So next point is, do not use personal pronouns in a formal letter. Avoid using them as much as possible unless specifically required. For example, when you are for example, let's say you are writing a letter to the bank manager and you have to introduce yourself, then you can write I, Rajiv Verma, comma, have been an esteemed customer, or have been a what do you say, have been a customer of your esteemed organization for the last 7 years under account number this, and this letter has been written to inform you or to request you to change my correspondence address in the system, right? So that's how you make, formal sentences. So avoid using personal pronouns as much as possible. So do not use personal pronouns, for example, I, you, we. So unless specifically required, please avoid using personal pronouns. And how to avoid using personal pronouns? I just told you, use passive sentences. Yes, guys, has everyone understood what I'm trying to convey to you here? How to make sentences look more formal, the passive form. Kindly give me a confirmation, guys. And don't forget to like the session, guys. We put in a lot of energy for you. We put in a lot of hard work for these sessions for you, right? So the least you can do is like these sessions. Yes, guys, do you agree with me that yes, we can, passive sentences look a little more formal? Yes, guys, do you agree with me? Absolutely. So I just give an example. Instead of writing, I think I may not be able to pay the installments for the next few months. Instead of writing this, what you should write is passive sentences. It might be possible that the installments for the next 3 months might not be paid on time. वो अंडरस्टूड ही है बाय मी, मेरी बात हो रही है, तो वो आप जब पैसिव बनाते हो ना, तो you basically what you do is you remove the informal part from the sentence, and the sentence starts looking like a bit more formal. So please make sure, guys, that you use passive sentences to avoid using pronouns in the sentence, right? That's a very good trick, right? So do not use personal pronouns, for example, I, you, we, unless specifically required. That is, do not write we think that you should be able to complete. Be non-personal. So instead, see, look at this example. We think that you should be able to compete or complete. Be non-personal. The same sentence could be written, it should be possible for everyone to compete or everyone to pay this installment on time. So whenever you are writing something, this is passive form of a sentence. So that makes it look more formal to the reader, and that is your aim. So I'm giving you, small little tips that you can inculcate in your drafting skills for your letter, so that you can make your letter look, more formal, more structured. Then next, do not use sweeping generalizations, guys. Sweeping generalizations, what do we mean by sweeping generalizations? कि एक बात में आप सभी के बारे में कुछ ना कुछ बोल दो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं बोलता हूँ पीपल आर करप्ट. अब ऐसी बात अगर मैं लेटर में लिख के भेजूंगा एडिटर को कि आई थिंक पीपल आर करप्ट एवरीवेयर, राइट? सो दिस इज नॉट समथिंग न्यू. नो, एब्सोल्युटली रॉन्ग. दिस इज अ स्वीपिंग जनरलाइजेशन कि आपने एक बात से सभी को उसी उसमें एक मतलब वो कर दिया कि सभी ऐसे होते हैं. नहीं, what if you have to write, you can write there are people who are corrupt, right? So please do not make sweeping generalizations. State main ideas clearly and concisely in your words in topic sentences, right? So do not use sweeping generalizations. Use specific information or dedicated information to state your main ideas clearly and concisely in your own words in your topic sentences. And next, please remember, guys, do not use bullet points unless it is a report, or unless you are marking down some sequential points in your letter. Otherwise, you always remember, letter is written in 3 paragraphs: introduction paragraph, body paragraph, and conclusion paragraph. Even body paragraph can be divided into 2, right? So there can be 3 or 4 paragraphs in total in your letter, but try not to use bullet points or titles or subtitles or numbers in a letter. Letter is written in paragraphs. I think all of you have seen letters. See, unless the letter asks for it, unless the letter says name or list, let's say for example, list the different challenges that can be understood in your area. Now, if you are listing a few challenges, then you can use bullet points. But otherwise, if it's generally about highlighting the problem in the area, then it's about you do not use bullet points, you use paragraphs, right? So I hope these points are fairly clear to you. So do not use bullet points, lists, unless it is in a report. Use complete sentences and link these into logical paragraphs. So you have to create a scenario, right, where you create sentences, complete sentences. You do not use bullet points. Now let's come to the letters that you may get in your exam. Now usually informal letters are not given, because if you look at the official handout of NABARD grade A, they have clearly mentioned that they basically, for letter and report, they say business communication. So business communication basically means formal letters or your reports, or it can be a semi-formal letter. I'll explain what semi-formal letter to you is, but first let's understand the biggest choices that you get. Those are formal letters. So there are many types of letters that may be asked from you in the exam. First is complaint letters, where you basically are asked to write a complaint for something that you purchased, or some services that you availed which were poor. So complaint letter, right? Then there could be inquiry letter, where you are asking about a scheme or a benefit or something new that has been launched by the government, or you are inquiring how to enroll in a scheme or under a particular for example insurance scheme, right? How to enroll under that. So that can be inquiry letter. Then there can be business development letters, where you are writing from one organization to another organization to develop your business. Then informational or query letters could be given to you, where you are where you are raising some information, where you are asking for some information, or you have a query to ask, right? And then there are claim letters. So if you're claiming your insurance money. And then there are request letters. For example, you are requesting the bank manager to reissue your ATM card, or you're requesting for example, your manager to basically to help you in your in your job, or anything that you can feel. So these are called formal letters. Now there can also be informal letters. Now informal letters are request letters. Now first you need to understand is, informal letters are written to family and friends, basically people you know, जिन लोगों को आप पर्सनली जानते हो. Now those letters are called informal letters. So when you are requesting someone, for example, you are requesting someone to to do something well, you're requesting your brother to you're asking your brother to perform well in the exam. So these are request letters. Next, invitation letters. You are inviting someone to your birthday party, you are inviting someone to your home. So that is what we call your informational letters. Then regret or apology letters are there. So where you are basically apologizing for something that has gone wrong, right? So they can be asked in the exam. Congratulation letters are there. Congratulation letters, where you are congratulating someone for for something that you helped them out with. There can be letters of advice and acceptance letters, but these are not very frequently asked in the exam. Now the focus area should be on formal letters, and that is what we need to build upon. Right, so we'll be focusing on formal letters today, and we'll see what sort of topics are given to the aspirants in the exam. Now, what is the 10-step letter format that you need to remember, guys? Now, if you are writing a letter, always make sure that you remember these 10 steps. Now, whenever you write a letter, make sure you count that, okay, I mentioned these 10 things in my letter. If there are 10 things, that means your letter is complete. That means you have not missed anything. But you miss any of these steps, marks will be deducted, because there is a lot of importance of the structure of the format of a letter. So the 10 letter step format that you need, so you can note it down, guys. You can also get the PDF of this, but if you want to note it down, you can also note it down. So how do we start letters these days? Formal letters begin with, first of all, it begins with sender's address. That means you who are writing the letter. So it starts with your letter, your address first, followed by date. So then you write the date of the letter on which you will be writing the exam. That would be 19th of November 2023. Right. Then there will be designation. If you are writing to a person who is on a designation in an organization, then you write to, right, for example, to the principal, remember. So you first write to the designation of the addressee, and below the designation, then you write the address of the addressee. So what organization he belongs to and where is the organization situated. So that is given in that is the third step of the letter. Then fourth step is the subject line. In the subject line, you briefly mention what is the purpose of this letter. Why have you written this letter? That is what is conveyed in subject line. Then salutation, the opening salutation, dear sir, dear ma'am, or respected sir, respected ma'am. So I think dear sir, dear ma'am, or respected sir, respected ma'am is enough. Dear sir, if you have met the person, if you know the person face to face, or if you have ever met him, so you can write dear sir, dear ma'am if you are requesting something. Then again, If you're writing somebody who's quite senior to you, or somebody who's quite at a at an eminent position, or somebody who's old, right, old in age, right, so then you can write respected sir, right. So opening salutations. Sarkari Naukri updates, we don't use from, but we do use to if we are writing to a designation. If you are writing to a designation, for example, if you are writing to the mayor of the city, or to the editor of the local newspaper, or to the chairman of the committee, or if you are writing to the manager of the bank, then you write to the manager, or to the senior manager, or to the chairman, or to the mayor, or to the CEO. Or if you are referring to a designation, then we write to, but we do not use from. From is not used in letters anymore. Got it? So after subject, fifth is your salutation, opening salutation. Then we make the three most important paragraphs of your letter, the most important content of your letter, that is introduction paragraph, where you will be writing only 2 to 3 lines, where the only purpose is to basically introduce, right, who you are and what is the purpose of you to write this letter, right. Yeah, what is the purpose of writing this letter to the particular person. So that should be mentioned in the introduction paragraph. Then comes the seventh part, that is the body paragraph, which is the real deal, right, the content of the part of the scenario, the real scenario, the explanation of the situation, what you are requesting, or what you are asking, or what you are providing. So that should be discussed in the body paragraph of the letter. And then after you've written what the letter is all about, then you write the conclusion. In the conclusion, you basically if there is a request, if you are asking for something, if if there is anything that if there is any action that you want the receiver of the letter to take, then that is to be mentioned in the conclusion. And then you thank the person in anticipation, right. Obviously you've seen those letters, thanks in anticipation, you're looking for a hopeful result, your hopeful outcome, right. So conclusion paragraph is basically where you put forward what you are looking for, what are the solutions, what is your request, and you give basically a word of thanks. After that, then number 9 is the complimentary close. So complimentary close is yours thankfully, yours sincerely, yours gratefully, or just regards, right. So you can choose any, you can write any depending on the letter that you are writing. So you can write yours sincerely, you can write yours truthfully, yours respectfully. Yeah, you can also you can just write regards. That is also absolutely acceptable. And after your complimentary close, your name. So your name of the writer of the letter comes at the very end of the letter. So your name, and if you are writing on behalf of a designation, then designation. Otherwise, you can write your email address if required, or your mobile number if you feel like putting it there. And after this, guys, now this is something which is not compulsory, but which is optional. For example, let's say if you are writing a letter to the bank to issue you a new debit card, so probably without any without any confirmation of your identity, the bank will not issue you the card. So what you do is you also mention that I have attached what do you say, attested copy of my Aadhaar card, my PAN card, as well as my new address with the letter. And then at the end, after the name of the sender, right, step number 11, after this, now this is optional depending upon the situation. This is where you can give attachments or annexure with the letter, right, something that you have attached with the letter. So annexure 1, you write photocopy, attested photocopy of PAN card, attested photocopy of Aadhaar card, and then attested copy of new address proof, right. And then attested copy of old address proof, or let's say you're giving a bank statement, so attested copy of the bank statement with a new address in it. So you also can provide some attachments just to put there with the letter itself, right. Yes, it comes under point 8 or point 9. It comes after point 10 alphabet. Okay, it's thanking you in thanking you in anticipation is in conclusion paragraph. So this is included in conclusion paragraph, where you mention your request, what you are asking for, what is your advice, what is your suggestion, what is the solution that you are you are providing, and then whatever request you are putting forward. Then in the same paragraph, conclusion paragraph, you give anticipation along with it. You can also keep just a short a short what do you say, a word of gratitude after point number 8 as well. For example, let's say you think that you don't want to put thanking you in anticipation in the conclusion paragraph, then you can also keep it separate after point number 8, but before the complimentary clause. Remember that. All right, guys. So these are the 10 steps that you need to count when you are writing a letter. Sender's address, date, receiver's address, receiver's designation, and then receiver's address, then subject line, then opening salutation, that is dear sir or respected sir, respected ma'am, then 3 paragraphs, introduction, body, conclusion, then a complimentary close, and then at the end you write your name and necessary details that are required. So guys, kindly give me a confirmation if you have noted this down. This is going to help you throughout your life. Whenever you write a letter from today onwards, right, make sure that you count it on your fingers, that have I followed the 10-step letter format or not, to make it look properly formal. So guys, kindly give me a confirmation if you have noted these 10 steps. I'll also explain these steps to you now. I will also discuss quite a few examples, but I hope that you've understood what we need to and how we need to frame a letter. Yes guys, kindly give me a confirmation in the chat box. Thank you for being so receptive, guys. Yes guys, have you understood? Have you noted down these 10 steps for your letter? Yes, thank God. All right, so let me explain these steps to you. Number 1, you start with your contact information. First of all, whoever you are, you start with your home address. Now, if you are writing on behalf of of a designation, for example, there can be one scenario where they may ask you to write. For example, listen to the scenario. Write a letter to some non-performing assets in your as a bank manager. Write a letter to the non-performing assets of your area, asking them for the reason for for the delay in repayments. So that can also be a scenario. So if you are asked to write on behalf of a designation, then you start with your designation, but it is usually not done so. So you start with your address, your home number, your flat number, your apartment number, then your city, your area, your city, your state, and then your email address. After that, second step is your date. Date can be written in this format as well. 19/11/23, 2023, not just 23, 2023. This is also perfectly all right. Or if you want to write like this, 19th of September, but write complete. Do not write incomplete words, guys. That is the point. 19th of September 2023. That is also acceptable, right? So you can write it any way you want. No, Wonder Life, I told you just now that name is written at the end of the letter, not at the beginning of the letter. So you don't start with the name of the sender. Name of the sender is written at the end, right? After thanking you or thanking you, or let's say after, for example, if you're saying you're respectfully, you're sincerely. After that, you write your name and then attachments if you are giving any attachments, right? Then after date, third is your receiver's address. So whomsoever you are writing to, obviously you would be writing to a designation, a person who is designated. You don't just write to organizations. For example, State Bank of India. You do not write letters to State Bank of India. You write to the manager of that particular branch, or you write to the editor of a particular newspaper, or you write to the police commissioner of the city, right? Or the mayor of the city. Right, so that is how you basically write your letters. So you start with to, and then title, I mean the designation, the person whom you are writing to, then the name of the company or the organization that you have addressed it to, the address of that particular building or the particular organization, and the name of the city after it. So that is number 3 in your 10-step letter format, receiver's address. Then subject line. In subject line, you mention the purpose of the letter, and this mostly begins with regarding. So regarding is the safest way to start your subject line. Regarding issuance of new credit card, regarding change of address in the system, regarding pitiful situation of drainage in the city, or let's say regarding problem of let's say drugs in the area, yeah, regarding the problem of accidents happening in the city, regarding let's say regarding some awareness drive that was conducted by you in the area. So regarding is the safest way to start your subject line. In a subject line, you don't have to write complete sentence. Regarding whatever is the main topic of the letter is put along with it. So regarding this. So why do we write subject, guys? Why is subject line important? See, guys, everybody, if everybody starts reading letters on a daily basis like that, right, without reading the subject line, it would be impossible to do the work. So they just read the subject and they understand if this is important, if this is necessary to necessary to read right now, or if it is not important. So subject line will basically tell the reader what the context of your letter is, and if it is, how important it is. So it is important and it is necessary to mention subject line before you begin your letter. Then after subject line, you give your greetings or salutations: respected sir, respected ma'am, dear sir, dear ma'am, right? So that is your opening salutation. Then you write the three good parts of your essay, of your letter. Number one, introduction paragraph. As I told you earlier, there should be only two, maximum three sentences in your introductory paragraph. Now what should these two or three sentences be? Number one, first you introduce yourself, who you are, and then you write the purpose of the letter, right? Or if you do not want to introduce yourself like explicitly, if you are writing in general, for example, if you are writing on behalf of the public, right? For example, there's a problem of dengue in the area, so you won't be writing I am this and I'm writing because there is there are many cases of dengue in my area. So instead of, in such a letter, what you do is you just start, this letter basically this letter is written to bring to your kind attention, right, on this particular issue of rising number of dengue in this area due to waterlogging and poor drainage systems of the city. So if you think you have to introduce yourself, if this is a personal letter, you introduce yourself by saying I, comma, Rajiv Sharma, whatever your name is, Rohina Das, or whatever you want to. So I, Rohit Sharma, comma, have been a customer of your esteemed organization for the last 7 years, and this letter has been written to request you to to, let's say, change the correspondence address, or to issuance for issuance of a new debit card under account number this. So introduction paragraph should be only 2 to 3 sentences, where the purpose is to introduce yourself if it's a personal letter. If not, then only 2 sentences which basically highlight the real reason to write the letter. So basically introduction paragraph is to introduce to the reader what this letter is all about. Now then comes step 7, body of the letter. Now this is the bulk of the letter. In this paragraph, provide more information and specific details about your request or the information that you are providing. Now in body paragraph, you lay out whole scenario, right? What happened? Why do you need new debit card? What is the requirement of this new debit card, right? So all that is put in the body of the letter, and then whatever information you have given after that, whatever action that you want the other person, the receiver of the letter, to take. Now the action that you want is mentioned in the conclusion paragraph. So the last paragraph of your letter should reiterate the reason you are writing and thank the reader for reviewing your request. If appropriate, it should also politely ask for a written response or for the opportunity to arrange a meeting to further discuss your request. You can also put it in the letter. But the main purpose is, you come back to the conclusion that what is your request, what are you demanding, you put it out, you lay it out clearly, and then you thank the reader for reviewing your request. And if necessary, you can also ask for a written response or an opportunity to schedule or to arrange a meeting to further discuss your request. So that can be put in your conclusion paragraph. In sender's address, no name is written, wonderful life, only designation is mentioned, right? You're not writing to a particular person, you're writing to a designation. If I'm writing to the manager of the bank, even if I know the manager is Mr. Sandeep, but I'll not be naming him, because by the time this letter is this letter reaches the bank and up till until it is processed, it may happen that there may be another manager who may be on the chair. He may be on off duty, he may be transferred or whatnot. So you never write a letter to a person, you write a letter to a designation. Always remember that. No, that can be put in body itself, that when you are mentioning that for the for necessary purposes or for the required identification details, I have attached the following documents with the I've attached the necessary identification documents with the letter itself. Then you can mention that after, after conclusion and after closing and after name, everything, then you can mention the attachments of the letter. Number one, PAN card, Aadhaar card, and that. But in the body paragraph, you just have to mention that for identification purpose or for this purpose, I have attached my Kisan credit card, my Kisan, Mandhan scheme Yojana card, or whatever you want to mention. But that will be mentioned in the body, but details will be given after the letter. Got it? In conclusion paragraph, you have to outline the request that you are putting forward. You have to emphasize on what you want the person, what action do you want the person to take, right? And then thank him in anticipation for doing so for you. So that is the conclusion paragraph. Then number 9 is the closing salutation. What a closing salutation? Sincerely, or yours thankfully, your regards, yours, respectfully, yours faithfully. You can write whichever you want, right? And after that, your name and designation if required, if you are writing on behalf of a designation. Otherwise, your contact details, that is your email ID, right? Mobile number, maybe don't write it, right? And last but not the least, it's optional attachments or annexure. So attachments or annexure can be mentioned. Now write only one, don't write both. Okay, so write attachments or annexure. You write this like that, and after that, number 1, number 2, number 3, and then you write copy of Aadhaar card, copy of PAN card, copy of your license, a copy of your residence details. So that can be written if required by the letter. So guys, have you understood thoroughly the 10 steps that you need to use to frame a formal letter? Kindly give me a confirmation in the chat box so that I can move further. Yes guys, is this clear to everyone? Have you got the 10-step letter format? So if you've understood what this 10-step letter format means, now this is a very important vertical of your evaluation. So if you understand thoroughly, properly the 10-step letter, the 10-step letter format, you'll never miss out anything important, and that can be the safest option in your exam. Okay. All right guys, now let's look at the previous year questions. I'll show you as many letters as I could find from the previous year questions so that you can look at the real scenario, the real question with their sample solutions. So let's start with the year 2022. In the year 2022, now these are the questions that were thrown at the aspirants. So the word limit that was given for letter was 150 words, and the topics that were given, there were 3 letters. So I'll read out all the 3 for you. Number 1, write a letter to your resident welfare association, I mean the area where you are living, to review its disaster response procedure. So you are writing to your resident welfare association to review its disaster response procedure. Second, write a letter to your customer care of an established furniture shop. You bought a piece of furniture after which unboxing was found to be of wrong size. Write a letter to the customer care asking for replacement of the furniture piece bought. So specific details are given to you. You have to create the scenario. And third was a semi-formal letter. Write a letter to your manager to congratulate him for being promoted and telling him about the role he played in your career. So you have to write a letter to your manager, that means to your senior, for to congratulate him for being promoted. So these were the 3 topics, and you had to choose one. So let me show you all the answers, what the letters should look like. Now guys, this is how you should start. Instead of writing just straight away Koregaon, you should have mentioned house number 1461, let's say house number 1461, comma. Now guys, please do not miss these punctuations because marks will be deducted without them. So house number, comma, Koregaon Park, comma, Pune. This is not actually required. If you want to, you can put it, otherwise it's not required anymore, right? So Pune, Maharashtra, that would do it. So Pune and Maharashtra, right? Full stop. So after your home address, your area, your city, then your then your state, and full stop. Second step is the date, 29th October 2022. Then you write to the president, now president of which resident welfare association, comma, Koregaon Park, that's the area, Pune, That's it. So you don't need to again mention Maharashtra. Once you've mentioned Maharashtra, up till Pune would be all right. So you don't even need to mention the pin code, right? You just need to write up till Pune. After that, your subject line regarding review of disaster management procedure, right? So that is the subject line regarding review of disaster management procedure. Then you start with the letter. So I'll read out the letter to you guys if something is not visible to you. Dear Sir, Ma'am, considering the fact that the disaster management is a holistic, proactive and multi-disaster and technology-driven strategy and would be achieved through a culture of prevention, mitigation and preparedness to generate a prompt and efficient response before the external help comes in. The entire process would center stage the community and collective efforts of all government agencies and NGOs. It hence required it hence requires the welfare associations which are being tapped about the disaster management procedure. So that is the information that he has given, that this disaster management procedure is very important to put in place and we need to review it time to time. Now then further what he has said, the disaster management procedure must include the following: natural disasters like earthquake, flood, cyclone, landslide or mishaps, and man-made disasters like fire, chemical hazard or road accident. So all these disasters should be considered, and that's how the disaster management procedure should be created. That is what he is saying. Then last paragraph, you are giving a you are saying that you're giving a conclusion paragraph. The welfare associations can further provide training and skills to the people of their localities to take immediate measures needed at the time of rescue operations. Now these can be of great help as they are familiar with their localities and could be the first people to approach. So yours sincerely, Rohit, resident. You can just finish it like that. So this is one simple sample example of your review of disaster management procedure. Second question was about about a wrong piece of furniture bought. So you start with your home address, house number 1461, Koregaon Park, Pune, 29th October, to the store manager, IKEA Furniture, Koregaon Park, Pune. Subject: regarding wrong size of furniture. Dear sir. Now how if now this was a personalized letter. Now previous letter I was writing on behalf of the of all the community. So there I don't need to introduce myself, but in this I need to introduce myself. So what I would write in introduction line is: Dear sir, I am writing this letter to express my extreme dissatisfaction on the purchase which I made from your furniture shop. So I am writing this letter to express my extreme dissatisfaction. So this is basically a complaint letter, right? Previous was a request letter. This is a complaint letter. But even in a complaint letter, you cannot use abuse or you cannot use informal language. You still have to use formal language. So I'm writing this letter to express my extreme dissatisfaction on the purchase which I made from your furniture shop. Now in the body part, what can be written? As part of the renovation works at my house, I decided to purchase a piece of dining table from your shop and the bill was settled last week. The bill number is E209821, dated on 25th December 2018, right? And the payment was done online. As my now in the body part, as my dining hall got expanded as a part of renovation, I ordered a larger piece of dining table which could facilitate a minimum 8 people at a time. I am not at all satisfied with the size of the furniture set that was delivered. It was found that there were some issues with the quality of the furniture set as well. After a couple of days of purchasing, I noticed some color changes on the surface, and when I examined further, I found the polishing damaged. I know you value your customers' positive feedback, and so I expect you would make arrangements for a review on this matter. I await your reply in anticipation. Now you can also give, if you're writing a complaint letter, you can also do this: I await your reply in anticipation. Now you don't have to thank him, right? Because you are the customer, you are writing a complaint. So obviously you are angry, you are dissatisfied. So you don't have to thank him for anything, but you are still polite. You are asking him to take this or review this matter. Regards, Neeraj Rai, right? No, no, the page would be enough. Don't worry about the space in the page. When you can write 450 words in an essay. So do you think in 150 words and bullet points the page would end? No. So don't worry about the space in the page. Page would be perfectly all right. So don't worry about the bullet points that you would be using. There is enough space in the in your dialog box to to accommodate more than 600 words. So there is, I think, no limit of that. So don't worry about the space. You will be able to complete the whole letter in the space itself. Okay. So this was the second example. Third was the semi-formal letter. Now guys, what is the difference between a semi-formal and a formal letter? In semi-formal letter, you don't write receiver's address because you are congratulating someone. Obviously, he will be receiving this letter, so there's no need for receiver's address. So how you write a semi-formal letter? You start with sender's address, then hello Eric. You start with this, congratulations, number one. So instead of writing subject line, congratulations, now you start your letter. I recently heard that you got the promotion to the senior manager post you have been working towards, and I wanted to tell you how happy I am for you. I knew that you were up for the task and you have absolutely proved yourself. Right, so this was sort of a congratulatory introductory paragraph. Then you write the body part. I'm excited to see you succeed in this new role as a senior manager. I know you'll be able to tackle any challenges that come your way with grace, and you will excel in your responsibilities for this position. You had been my role model all along, and I aspire to follow in your footsteps. That is the role he has played in your life. Right, now congrats again. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you ever need anything. Sincerely, Benjamin Laus. Phone number, your email ID. So this was sort of a semi-formal letter that was asked in the year 2022. So you should also know how to write a semi-formal letter, right? So this is how you write semi-formal letter. In semi-formal letters, receiver's address is not given, subject line is not given, only sender's address and date. After that, you start with salutation and then your letter. Got it? So these were the questions that were asked in the year 2022. Now let's come to 2021. I'm just showing you the previous year questions. In 2021, there were 3 topics that were given. Look at the topics, guys. Number 1, write a letter to your block officer regarding pitiful situation of local dispensary in your area. So write a letter to your block officer. So again, this is a complaint letter. Second was write a letter to the bank for changing the address for credit card delivery. This is a request letter. Third, write a letter to your local newspaper for development of sports infrastructure in the country for future Olympians. So you're writing to a local newspaper for development of sports infrastructure. This was again a request letter, but all the 3 were formal, right? So I hope you would understand what scenarios you would choose and how would you create it. But let me show you some some examples of the same. So first was write a letter to your block officer regarding pitiful situation of local dispensary in your area. So you start with your address 14 Watkins Lane, Howrah, Kolkata, West Bengal. Then date 5th June 2020. Then receiver's address to the district health officer, Howrah Municipal Corporation, Howrah Medan, Kolkata, West Bengal. Subject line, the insanitary conditions of my locality. This is a complete, this is a complaint letter. Then what do you write in the body? Dear sir, dear ma'am, this is to attract your attention to the extremely unhygienic and insanitary conditions prevailing in our local dispensary. Our local dispensary, which is situated near the old bridge, is getting dirty day by day. Then next paragraph, the premises of the dispensary have become a breeding ground of mosquitoes. The drains which have been dug and have been left like that are now overflowing with filth and wastewater from houses of the locality. Even the carcasses of stray animals are lying beside the roads for many days and have started rotting. Numerous calls to the municipality offices have been made, but all go unattended. The garbage lies rotting and smelling in the dumpsters for weeks because the municipal garbage trucks fail to turn up. This complete negligence of the authorities has made our locality a potential health hazard. So see, when you're creating a scenario, you need to think of things that you can compile and present as a scenario. First, he says the premises of dispensary have become a breeding ground of mosquitoes. The drains which have been dug have been left open and that they are overflowing with filth and wastewater from the houses of the locality. Then another aspect, carcasses of the animals are lying beside the roads and have started rotting. Numerous calls to the municipality offices have been made, but all go unattended. The garbage lies rotting and smelling in the dumpsters for weeks because the municipal garbage trucks fail to turn up. Now, this complete negligence of the authorities has made our locality a potential health hazard. Now, in conclusion paragraph, you are conveying your request. Now, you are requested to look into the matter immediately. A visit to our locality will help you in assessing the situation correctly. I hope you take the necessary actions soon. Sincerely, Navita Singh. So, this is how you write a complaint letter or a letter of concern, right? Next letter, guys, write a letter to change the address of credit card delivery. Now again, you start with sender's address, date, receiver's address, and you have to write to here, guys, not from, but only two. To the bank manager, SBI branch, Havda Medan, Kolkata, West Bengal. Subject, address change required, request letter for credit card. Respected sir. Now, what is the scenario? Hope you're doing well. This letter has been written to request for an address change in my profile at the bank. Last, whatever date you will be mentioning, last date, I opened a new account at the bank and requested the ATM card to be mailed to my address. However, now in the meantime, now you're giving the further scenario. However, we have to shift to a different place urgently due to some personal reasons. We will be done with this whole shifting thing soon, and I do not really know the new house owners. I request you to change the address as soon as possible so that the ATM card is not mailed on the previous address, or else it would be really inconvenient for me as the distance between the both houses is quite long. My new address has been provided below. Now, then the conclusion paragraph. Kindly feel free to contact me for any further query on details provided below. Regards, Rohit Mathur, mobile number this, email ID this, and then you can present the attachments or the annexure that you want to present. And third letter was, write a letter to your local newspaper for development of sports infrastructure in the country for future Olympians. So this was a request letter. So you start with your address, 120 Mayur Vihar, New Delhi, dated 8th September 2020, then to the editor, the Hindustan Times, New Delhi. Subject, absence of playground in our locality. Dear editor, or dear sir, dear ma'am, I am Vikas, a resident of Mayur Vihar, and I'm writing to you in order to bring the attention of the concerned authorities towards the absence of playground and sports facilities in our locality. That was the introduction paragraph. Then the body paragraph. These are the necessary activities for all age peoples in current times. The increase in pollution, contracting open space due to industrialization, and increase in traffic, etc., have contributed to the decline of the environment and human health. The absence of open spaces in the residential areas and the townships has further provoked the issue. The lack of playgrounds and open spaces has deprived the joy of children playing outdoor games. So, it has affected their physical growth and development. As reiterated by specialists and doctors, how important is the presence of such facilities and impacts they will have on the budding sports persons in our country. Having such infrastructure will boost the career of upcoming sports stars and will pave the way for upcoming Olympians of the country. So this was the scenario. Now what is the request? Through the columns of your reputed newspaper, I request the concerned authorities to look into this problem so that they will provide a playground and sports facilities in our locality. Thanking you, yours sincerely, Vikas. So that is a good letter to write when you are writing a request letter. Alright. So these were the questions that were asked in the year 2021. Let me also go further back to 2020. So in 2020, this was the question that was asked. Write a letter to the mayor of your city seeking a solution to the problem of water logging in your area. You are Rani of Dharma Colony, Ramgarh. So you have to write a letter to the mayor of the city seeking a solution to the problem of water logging in your area. So you start with your address, ABC apartment, Dharma Colony, Ramgarh, date, then to the mayor, Mojpur, New Delhi. Respected sir, subject, problem of water logging, regarding problem of water logging. Now, please note this template, guys. This is important. Now, if you remember these templates, it will become very easy for you. And in the course, I have given you, I think, more than 50 sample letters with sample templates, so that you can, if any of those scenarios is similar to what is given to you in the exam, you are able to execute that. So make sure that you go through those sample letters that have been provided to you in your fodder material, in your course as a fodder material, right? So how to write the opening paragraph when you are writing to an editor? This is to draw your kind attention towards the excessive problem of water logging in Ward E, Mojpur. Water logging is playing havoc or wreaking havoc with the lives of people in rainy season, and it needs immediate or instant action. So this is the opening paragraph. Then comes the body paragraph. Because of the rainy season, this problem has aggravated. With the rainfall of mere 5 minutes duration, clogged drains lead to roads full of water everywhere. Potholes get filled with water, which can cause dangerous accidents. Many manholes are lying open, which become lethal in rainy days. Students going to school suffer major injury when struggling to carry bicycle forward in such tough conditions. Office goers and other people are equally affected. It has become nearly impossible to step out of the house safely. Water also seeps inside some houses. Water also seeped inside some houses. It not only affects our schedule, but also gives rise to many waterborne diseases like dengue. Now, cases of dengue are already on high in Delhi. This is only adding to the problem. So you've mentioned all the problems in the body part. Then what are you requesting? I request you to activate the concerned authorities. Drains should be cleaned immediately to avoid any epidemic. Covering of drains and manholes is the urgent need of the hour. Proper maintenance and repair of the roads and streets is required to prevent any mishap with anyone. I would like you to please take cognizance of this problem which is obstructing our lives immensely. Then quick response will be highly appreciated from your end. Thanking you, Rani. So in such a scenario, you can see, guys, the more realistic your letter looks, right? What are the problems when you're talking about water logging? So water logging is not just water logging in the area. There are many more problems that come along with it. Drainage problem, sanitation problem, insanitary issues, dengue problem, then problem of accidents, and then kids facing this issue and health hazard and whatnot. So think of a realistic scenario. Always plan in your head what are you going to create as a scenario and then execute it in a formal manner, right? Then another question from the same year, write a letter to the editor for corruption in government department. This was also given in 2020. So write a letter to the editor for corruption in government departments. How would you write this letter? Start with the sender's address, ABC apartment, Lodi Road, New Delhi, date. Then to the editor, PQR Delhi, New Delhi. Respected sir, regarding corruption in government departments. Now, then you start with this template. Through the esteemed column of your prestigious newspaper, I would like to draw your kind attention towards ongoing rampant corruption in government departments. Right? So, through the esteemed column of in prestigious newspaper, I would like to draw your kind attention towards ongoing rampant corruption in the government departments. Right? Then comes the body paragraph. It is out in the open that government workers are getting corrupt day by day. Common people can't even access the people in power. Wealthy people are influencing the coterie of power. Now, it takes heavy pockets to get a small task done from the government. Everyone in the hierarchy from the lower ring to the highest is neck deep in corruption. Earlier, there were reports in bits and pieces of how every file is passed with a push from under the table, but now it's clearly visible. Transparency and accountability seem to be far dreams. It is unhealthy and horrifying for the democratic structure of Indian society. So, when you create a scenario, please, be elaborate with your, with your sentences. Then what you need and what are the solutions? Electronic media seems to be reluctant to pursue this as it involves people of stature. This matter needs urgent action from honest media persons as well as investigation agencies. Strict action and honest inquiries are the need of the hour. Concerned citizens are raising their voice. Support from media can play an active role to highlight the issue. Now, we would highly appreciate your contribution in this matter. Thanking you, whatever you want to name it. Got it, guys? Naseeb, phase 2 will be conducted on 19th of November. The date has been finalized by RBI. It was given on the website yesterday. Now, as for result, the result will be delicate. I mean, hopefully it would be declared, I think, probably by the end of this week. Hopefully it would be announced by the end of this week, because or probably by the beginning of next week, because you at least need 2 weeks to to clearly prepare for your journey or for your phase 2. So expected results by the end of this week or by the beginning of next week, Abhi. Okay, that's my prediction. No, but no particular information is there. It may happen, the result may be declared today, tonight. It may be declared tomorrow. It may be declared day after tomorrow. So nothing surety, but by the last, we should definitely be declared by the end of this week or by the beginning of next week. Okay. Abhi, if you are not sure about your phase 1, it is pointless to worry about phase 2. Honestly speaking, right? वो opportunist बन के नहीं कर सकते अब ये काम. अब ये जो आप करोगे, यहाँ पे आप जो सीखोगे वो सिर्फ इस एग्जाम के लिए नहीं, वो हर एग्जाम के लिए है. आप कोई भी एग्जाम अपियर करोगे, आरबीआई का, सेबी का, पीएफआरडीए का, डिस्क्रिप्टिव इंग्लिश आपको हर पेपर में मिलती है. सो वट एवर यू लर्न हेयर, इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू गो टू वेस्ट. और अगर आप ये वेट में बैठे हो मेरा होगा तो मैं पढ़ाई करूंगा, नहीं तो नहीं करूंगा, देन यू आर नॉट फॉलोइंग द राइट अप्रोच. ठीक है, Chalo guys, next question number 3. Write a letter to the bank manager for reissuing your ATM card. So you start with sender's address, ABC Apartments, Lodi Road, New Delhi, then date, then to the bank manager, XYZ Bank, New Delhi, then subject line, application for reissuing my ATM card. This is a request letter. So dear sir, dear ma'am, this is to draw your kind attention towards a problem I have been facing since a few months regarding my ATM card. Now, my ATM card did not undergo any transaction for 5 months from January 2019 to May 2019. I think he should have mentioned his account number here. The account number is missing from this. Without account number, it is pointless to write a letter to the bank. So my ATM, which falls under account number this, did not undergo any transaction for 5 months from January 19 to May 19, due to which it got blocked and further transactions were denied. I consulted with the concerned authorities in the bank and they advised me to file an application for reissuing new ATM card under same details. I filed my application and submitted it to the relevant counter, from where I was asked to wait for 3 to 4 weeks. After the given period, I visited bank again and they asked to refile the application. I filed 2 applications regarding the same, but to no avail. Neither I have received my ATM card nor any response. So now the request, please inform me how long it is going to take to get my ATM card reissued. If there is some other process to be followed, kindly instruct me about it. I have visited bank in person several times, but it is not getting me anywhere. This is really causing me difficulties, sir. Kindly acknowledge the matter as soon as possible. Quick response will be highly appreciated. Thanking you, your name and your email address. Okay. So this, these are different templates that you can prepare for. Then from the year 2018, the topic that was given was: a farmer writes a letter to the zonal officer requesting damage claim of his crops under Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. This was given in 2018. Now they don't ask you such specific letters because this exam is conducted for all the streams, right? IT stream, legal stream, then general stream. So now they give topics which are common to everyone, but earlier they used to give these specific topics. So I'll just show you the answer for this. How can a farmer write to a zonal officer? It's good to know instead of not knowing it. So again, same thing: sender's address, date, then receiver's address, subject regarding claim of damage for crops under Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Then respected sir, respected ma'am, with due respect, I would like to inform you that I'm a farmer and I own 1 acre of paddy cultivation in Bahona in Charigaon, Taluka of Jorhat district. During the first fortnight of the present month, a series of hailstorm events brought damage to my paddy crops. That is the introduction. Then I enrolled for my crop insurance policy under PMFBY and now want to avail the claim of damage for crops under the same. My crop insurance policy document number is AS03JST123. Full stop. I hereby request you to make arrangements for estimation of damage in my paddy field and to proceed for payment of claim against the estimated damage subsequently. A prompt action at your end will help me to recover the cost of crop damages through PMFBY at the earliest. Now, as a farmer, I am facing financial distress due to the recent crop damages, and an early disbursement of claim will help me to prepare for the upcoming crop season. The matter is for your kind perusal. Thanking you, your name, your email ID. So this is a good letter to write for such specific situations. Let's look at another that was asked in 2019. Write a letter in about 150 words on the topic given below. As a marginal farmer, write a letter to the LIC officer requesting to enroll for pension scheme under Pradhan Mantri Kisan Man Dhan Yojana. Right, so this was asked in 2019, but after 19 they started asking very broad questions in letter. So but still, let's look at the answer: sender's address, date, receiver's address, then subject enrollment for pension scheme under PM KMY. So dear sir, I, whatever your name is, I Rohit or Rahul or Duniram. I, Duniram, a marginal farmer residing in KL village of Vizag Nagar district. This letter has been written in order to enroll for the pension scheme under Pradhan Mantri Kisan Man Dhan Yojana. So, as a marginal farmer aged 40 with agricultural land of not 10, maybe 1 or 2. Right, it should not be 10. So 10 acres is not marginal farmer. So as a marginal farmer aged 40 with agricultural land of 1 acres, I cultivate paddy and other crops which gives me sufficient income for my living with few savings. I came to know about PMKMY pension scheme through the newspaper, and it would be beneficial to join to secure my old age. So it would be of great help for me and my family if you enroll me in this pension scheme. Hope you consider my request and enroll me into the scheme. Thanking you. Phone number, mobile number, email ID, and then attachments can also be given in this letter. Then the letter that was asked in 2020, it was about subsidy on housing loan interest under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. So sender's address, date, then receiver's address, then subject line regarding request for subsidy on housing loan interest rate under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana (PMAY). Respected ma'am, respected sir. With due respect, I would like to inform you that I am a customer of your bank and owner of account number 654321. I am writing this letter to request for housing loan under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Then the body of the letter: I am a worker at Johra Tea Factory and I am interested in availing housing loan under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana through your bank. I am eligible for benefits under economically weaker section category considering my annual income. Now in bracket, I have attached my income certificate and EWS category certificate issued by district administration in annexure 1. I want to avail housing loan under PMAY amounting 4 lakh rupees. I am facing hardship in daily life due to dilapidated condition of my kacha house. The loan will be utilized to replace the present kacha house with a new pakka house. A better house will add value to the living standards of my family. A safe and secure house will also help my children to study properly and secure a better future. So I hereby request you to grant me the loan at the stipulated subsidized interest rate as per the benefits available for economically weaker section category under PMAY. As an esteemed customer of your bank, I am looking forward to your prompt action for processing my request for loan. The matter is for your kind perusal. Thanking you. Your name, mobile number, email ID, then list of enclosure, annexure 1, income certificate and EWS certificate of Mr. This, and copy of attested Aadhaar card validating details. So that can be put in your letter and that would become an excellent letter. So guys, this is what I wanted to show you. Have you understood what I was talking about, the 10-step letter format and the formal language that you need to follow in your exam? Now that is very, very important. So guys, this session was about letter writing. I hope this will help you understand what letter writing entails and how it functions. So guys, if you like the session, if you found it useful, don't forget to press the like button. And if you have any doubts, if you have any queries for us, you can call us on this number, that is 8146207241, or you can also drop us an email at hello@edutap.co.in. And if you wish to join us in our crash course for phase 2, where we are completely covering every component of your phase 2 in considering ARD, ESI, downloadable PDFs, updated fodder material for descriptive part, then full sectional test, full length mock test, and your full length mock test will also be evaluated and a score and detailed feedback will also be given to you, and those full length mock tests will be conducted on a simulation of the interface of your exam. So that is very, very helpful at the end of the day. Practice is the key to crack this exam, guys. If the word limit is 150, 170 words, I think this was not more than 170 alphabet. Number 1. Number 2, every word that you have written in your letter, every word starting from the sender's address to the closing statement, every word will be counted in your word limit. So don't worry. So you have to write at least 150, 170 words, which is basically, somewhat around these 3 paragraphs and, a couple of more words. So I think this will adhere to the word limit. But even if you go 10 more words beyond, that's perfectly all right. But don't overshoot it or don't undershoot it. That's the whole point. Okay. So thank you so much for your patience, guys. Thank you so much for your receptiveness. Keep on working hard, and I'm sure with patience, perseverance, and your hard work and your dedication, you will definitely do very well in this exam. So if you wish to join us, you can join us in our crash course. The link has been given in the description of the video. And if you want the PDFs of this session and many more such sessions for free, join our Telegram channel, the link for which has also been given in the description of the video. So thank you so much once again, guys. I'll see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be discussing Prezi writing, same time 6 p.m. So don't forget to join in, and don't forget to get benefited from these sessions. So thank you so much once again, guys. Keep on working hard, keep on giving your best, and I wish you all the success in your endeavors ahead. Happy learning to all of you. Thank you so much once again, guys, and have a great day.